The storm hit like a living monster that night, white, wild, and angry enough to swallow an entire highway. Officer Daniel Hale had seen bad weather before, but nothing like this. Visibility, zero, roads, gone. And yet, through that violent curtain of snow, something moved. A faint shift. A shadow fighting to stay upright. Daniel slowed, squinted, and then his breath stopped cold. A dog. Not just any dog, a German Shepherd tied to a post, her fur frozen into stiff needles of ice. Her whole body trembling as if life was slipping out of her second by second. And then Daniel saw them teeny shapes buried in the snow. Puppies, barely breathing. He sprinted toward them, but the mother didn't bark at him. She barked past him toward the woods. Desperate, warning, or pleading. And within minutes, Daniel would discover something in that blizzard that no officer is ever prepared to face. The blizzard that night felt less like weather and more like a punishment. Snow hammered the world in violent waves, erasing roads, signs, everything. Officer Daniel Hale guided his patrol SUV forward inch by inch, wipers fighting a losing battle as dispatches report echoed in his mind. Unidentified cries near Miller's Ridge. Probably a stray, he'd thought, but the fear in the operator's voice lingered with him. When Daniel stepped outside, the cold hit like a blade. His boots sank into deep snow as he lifted his flashlight and swept the beam along the roadside. For a moment, there was nothing but white chaos until the light caught on a shape. His stomach dropped. A German Shepherd, tied tightly to a wooden post, her fur coated in ice, her legs quivering, breath puffing weak clouds of panic, and at her feet, tiny lumps, half buried beneath the drifting snow. Puppies. So still he feared he was too late. Daniel fell to his knees. Brushing snow from their fragile bodies, one gave the faintest twitch, another let out a thin, broken breath. He swallowed hard and whispered into his radio. Unit 27. I need animal rescue immediately. We've got survivors. Barely, but the mother dog wasn't growling or resisting. Instead, she kept barking toward the forest, sharp, urgent, almost pleading. Something wasn't right. Daniel wrapped his jacket around her trembling body when Rex's canine partner began scratching at the snow behind the post. Daniel joined him, digging until his glove hit metal. A small box wrapped in an old blanket. Inside was a photo of a smiling woman and a little boy standing beside this very German Shepherd, and a note, blurred by moisture. If you're reading this, please save them. I didn't have a choice. Daniel stiffened. This wasn't abandonment. This was desperation. He untied the rope. The mother dog didn't run, she sprinted toward the trees, stopping every few steps, barking for Daniel to follow. Rex led the way, nose close to the ground, weaving through the storm until they reached an overturned sled at the edge of a frozen ditch. The mother pawed at it frantically. Daniel lifted the sled on, found another puppy curled beneath it, clinging to the last scraps of warmth. You were trying to show me, Daniel whispered. Sirens wailed in the distance. Help was coming, but he knew, without the mother's guidance, that last pup would have been lost forever. At the clinic, the veterinary clinic glowed warm against the icy night. Daniel paced outside the treatment room while vets worked quickly, oxygen masks on tiny muzzles, warm blankets wrapping fragile bodies. The mother dog sat silently at the door, ears flicking at every sound her babies made. Daniel looked down at the note again. Those words haunted him. Moments later, his phone buzzed. Hale, the sheriff said, we found something. A missing woman car crash near Miller's Ridge. She owned a German Shepherd. Matches your photo. Daniel froze. She hadn't abandoned them. She'd tried to save them and gotten lost in the storm herself. You weren't waiting for rescue. Daniel murmured to the mother dog. You were waiting for her. 3 days later, the hospital room smelled of antiseptic and fading fear. Lena, the woman from the photo, lay weak but awake, frostbitten but alive. Her first words were a whisper. The dogs. Are they? Daniel smiled. They made it. All of them. Tears flooded her eyes. I tied them there so someone would find them. I couldn't carry them anymore. I thought they'd die if I kept trying. You saved them, Daniel said softly. The door opened and Bella, the German Shepherd, padded inside. Lena gasped, covering her mouth as Bella climbed onto the bed and nuzzled into her chest, whining with joy and relief. Moments later, the puppies were carried in. Lena sobbed openly, kissing their tiny wiggling heads. My babies. Daniel turned away, throat tight. Some reunions didn't need words. Weeks later, news stations exploded with the story. Clips of Daniel rescuing the pups in the storm went viral. People around the world cried, watching Bella nuzzle Daniel in the patrol car. Later, Daniel visited Lena's home. Sunlight poured through the windows as the now healthy puppies tumbled around the living room. Bella trotted up to Daniel. Pressing her head into his hand, he knelt, whispering, "You were the hero that night." Lena stepped outside, eyes full of gratitude. "We'll never forget what you did." Daniel smiled softly. It was all her. As he walked away, the sound of playful barks and laughter drifted through the crisp winter air, and for the first time since the storm, everything felt warm.